If you are at all interested in FPS games, you no doubt remember the Clean House mission from Modern Warfare 2019. Being up there as one of the most memorable missions in Call of Duty history, Clean House offered a sense of grounded realism that Call of Duty fans had never really seen before. During my short time in the army, we underwent urban combat training. It worked almost like airsoft, where my platoon were facing up against a squad of highly trained soldiers. During this time, I found myself in many situations similar to this mission. Now, this was obviously just training and my life was never in danger, but the adrenaline and the tension that I felt was very much real. I remember being on the ground floor of a building and my squad commander came up and said, "We got hostiles on the second floor. Sinis, take point up the stairs." And even though it was just training, the tension that I felt moving up the stairs with my AK, knowing that the enemy could jump out of any corner, it really is a feeling that has been unmatched by anything in my life ever since. So, bringing this back to video games, the Clean House mission is probably the closest I have ever gotten to recapturing that same feeling again in a video game. But Clean House, as good of an experience as it may be, it's only about 10 minutes long, it's highly scripted, and it offers nothing in terms of replay value once you've played through it. But what if there was a game out there that took the feel and tension of Clean House and turned it into a full game? A game with tons of replay value that allows you to relive the adrenaline pumping tension again and again. This is Zero Hour. Released into early access in 2020, Zero Hour is a first-person tactical shooter focused on realistic grounded CQB combat. Zero Hour has many times been referred to as the game that Rainbow Six Siege should have been. A lot of people have laughed in the face at this comparison, but I think it is very accurate. On paper, Zero Hour's PvP mode and Rainbow Six Siege are very similar. You have two teams, attackers and defenders. The goal of the attackers is to breach into a building and either rescue a hostage or defuse a bomb, while the defending team obviously have the goal of stopping the attackers from doing so. Now, the game mode on paper is almost identical in both games, but in execution, they're anything but. Rainbow Six, especially after all of its updates over the years, is not a serious game at all by any means. Rainbow Six is a goofy esports game with silly customization and over-the-top hero abilities. Now, I'm not saying that there is necessarily anything wrong with that. It is very clearly trying to attract a certain type of market, and it has seen great success in doing so, going on to be by far the most popular game in the entire franchise. But for all of the fans who loved Rainbow Six for its more grounded, realistic, tactical gameplay, this new direction has been a huge letdown. Zero Hour recognizes that, and it takes the core concept and game mode but gets rid of all the silly, unrealistic stuff, turning it into a true hardcore tactical experience. But my personal favorite part of Zero Hour comes in the form of co-op multiplayer. A staple of the Rainbow Six games was the PvE mode known as Terrorist Hunt. Terrorist Hunt does, in theory, exist in Siege as well, but mostly just in name only. It's a boring, unfinished mode that nobody cares about, and for good reason at that. So if you used to be a PvE fan, this felt like yet another slap in the balls by Siege. But once again, Zero Hour is here to save the day, offering a PvE experience that has just as much love and polish poured into it as the PvP. offering many different maps, all with their own objectives and multiple ways to go about tackling the missions. You can cut the power and go in with night vision, you can go in quietly and stealthy or loud and quick. All the maps offer multiple points of entry. You can enter through the ground floor, rappel up to the roof, or enter through any of the windows along the way, breaching into any floor that you want. My personal favorite tactic is usually to rappel along the entire building, picking off as many targets as I can through the window before entering to sweep out the rest. The amount of possibilities makes every map infinitely replayable and no run feels the same. The game is still in development, so while it already offers a ton of content, there is even more to look forward to in the future. And the craziest thing of all is that you can get all of this for only €10. If you are looking for a true tactical CQB FPS, Zero Hour might just be the best €10 you have ever spent.